right, everyone, get ready, because today we are going deep on a YouTube video
cool.
from Native African Tales.
Okay.
It's a channel dedicated to sharing these incredible stories passed down for generations.
Yeah.
But, we're not just here to listen to a good story.
Right.
We want to peel back the layers of this particular folktale
I like it.
and see what it reveals about the culture and the values, even human nature, kind of like cultural archaeology.
Yes. But with much better stories.
Exactly.
Way better stories.
So what's so amazing about these folktales?
Well, they work on different levels, right? You have a good story on the surface.
Right.
But underneath that, there are these universal truths about humans,
Okay.
about societies, and about the things that have bothered us for centuries,
Interesting.
no matter where we come from.
So let's get into this story.
Yeah.
We meet Tar, this farmer.
Okay.
He's poor, but he finds joy in the simple things.
Right.
His family, his work, his connection to the land. It makes you wonder, what is wealth, really?
It really challenges us, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, this beginning shows us something important right away.
Okay.
It shows how important community and connection are. These are more important than just stuff.
Right.
This is a strong value in many African culture.
I see.
And it sets up the inner conflict that Tar is going to face.
Okay, well, this is where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Tar has these friends. They're wealthier than him.
Yeah.
And they don't treat him well.
Oh.
There's a scene where they even make him clean up their plates
Wow.
after a meal because he's poor.
That's rough.
It's harsh, yeah.
It's a powerful scene.
Right.
It shows how messed up the social hierarchy can be.
Yeah.
It makes you think, how does wealth or the lack of it make you vulnerable? It's like the story is holding up a mirror and asking, are we really this quick to judge others based on how much money they have?
That's a tough question.
Yeah,
And sadly, it gets even worse for Tar with these so-called friends.
oh, no.
They take advantage of him, making him work really hard, but pay him almost nothing.
Wow.
It's like something out of Dickens, the way it portrays poverty.
Yes. You got it. It's Dickensian.
Yeah.
This exploitation really emphasizes how bad wealth inequality is.
Okay.
It forces us to see that the people with less, they suffer the most in a system that cares more about profit than about human dignity.
Yeah.
You can see how this might push someone to make desperate choices.
That leads us to Tar's meeting with Chief Azuka,
Okay.
the richest guy in the village.
Interesting.
Talk about a clash of worlds.
Yeah, this is where the folktale brings in a classic character.
Okay.
Someone powerful and tempting.
I see.
It's like tapping into a fear we all have.
Right.
A fear of someone offering us a shortcut to success, especially when we feel vulnerable.
Yeah.
We see this all the time, even today.
That is chilling, how relevant it still is. Chief Azuka makes Tar an offer, a chance to get rich.
Okay.
Through a weird ritual.
Interesting.
No violence, no obvious harm, just easy money.
It sounds too good to be true.
Doesn't it?
That's how they get you.
Yeah.
Folktales use these too good to be true situations to explore how complicated human desire is.
Right.
Think about it. We all have that voice in our head that whispers, what if there's an easier way?
Oh, yeah.
Tar's situation just makes that struggle louder.
Right.
He's seen how money gets you respect and power.
Yeah.
So, of course, he's tempted.
Makes you wonder if any of us could resist that.
It does.
Especially after going through what Tar has.
Yeah.
Would we walk away?
That's the big question, right?
It is.
The story doesn't judge Tar for thinking about it.
Right.
It just shows his problem, honestly.
Okay.
Makes us look at our own weaknesses and ask, what would I do?
So even though he's nervous, Tar agrees to the ritual.
He does.
And the way the video describes it, the dark forest,
Uh-huh.
the old man saying cryptic stuff about a price to pay.
Yeah.
It's like a horror movie.
Oh, wow.
Right?
It's so well done.
Yeah.
The storyteller is using our basic fears,
Yeah.
our anxieties about what we don't know.
I see.
It's like they're saying, be careful what you wish for.
Right.
There are always consequences, whether you see them or not.
That price to pay really looms over everything.
It does.
And then almost overnight, Tar's life completely changes.
Really.
Fancy clothes, big house, amazing food.
Wow.
He's living the high life.
Like a fairy tale.
Yeah, except with that sense of dread hanging around.
It's interesting how the story doesn't just focus on the material stuff,
Right.
but also on how sudden wealth affects you mentally.
Yeah.
Notice how Tar becomes distant and preoccupied.
Yeah.
Almost like he's haunted by his fortune.
Yeah.
It's as if the secret of how he got rich is weighing him down.
And then, you guessed it, his friends come back.
Oh, boy.
All smiles and fake compliments.
That's right.
Trying to figure out his secret. Unbelievable.
It's adding insult to injury.
It really shows how fake relationships based on status can be.
It does.
It makes you wonder if any connections are genuine in a world obsessed with money and social climbing.
Right.
It's something we see across time and cultures.
It's a harsh truth.
It is.
But in all this mess, there's one voice of reason.
Wow.
Car's wife.
Okay.
She's happy, they're comfortable now, but she's troubled by how they got rich.
Oh, interesting.
She's the voice of conscience, warning Tar about the potential dangers of their good fortune.
Her presence is important.
It is.
She's like the grounding, the moral compass that Tar seems to be losing in his chase for wealth.
Right.
It's like she embodies the values the story is upholding, the importance of family, community, and being true to yourself, even when tempted by easier paths.
And then, bam, the story hits us with a twist.
What?
The old man comes back and reveals the real price of Tar's wealth.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
It's a demand that will chew you to the bone.
Get ready, because things are about to get dark. Tar has to sacrifice his daughter.
His daughter.
Amina.
Oh, wow.
To keep his wealth.
That's
a horrible twist.
It is.
A moral dilemma.
Yeah.
It makes us face the worst parts of human desperation.
Yeah, that's a real bombshell.
It is.
Takes the story to a whole new level.
That does.
From just greed to something much more complex.
It asks these big questions.
Like,
how far does our love go?
Right.
How do we balance our family's well-being with our own wants?
It makes you think about what you truly value.
It does.
It makes you wonder if the story is also about the fears of being a parent.
Okay.
That pressure to provide for your kids, to protect them, even if it means doing terrible things.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
It adds another dimension to Tar.
In what way?
He's not just greedy.
Okay.
He desperately wants to protect his family, to keep them from the poverty he's known.
Right. So his decision, as awful as it is,
is
understandable in a way.
It is tragic.
Yeah.
And the story shows Tar's inner struggle.
Oh, okay.
He's torn between loving Amina and the fear of losing everything.
It's like a tug of war in his mind.
Exactly.
Between his fears and desires.
I got it.
It reminds me of cognitive dissonance, you know?
It's interesting.
That feeling when your actions and beliefs clash.
Right.
Tar knows he's wrong.
Yeah.
But he tries to justify it to feel better.
You're right on.
So the story is really deep.
It is.
It's not just good versus evil.
No.
It's about how messy human nature is.
Exactly.
How good people can make bad choices.
Under pressure,
Under pressure.
And the storyteller uses such vivid images to show how heavy Tar's decision is.
Right.
The potion, the forest, the feeling of dread.
It's all there.
It makes us feel the seriousness of the situation.
You can practically feel the darkness closing in.
This is a powerful reminder that our choices matter. They have real consequences.
And sometimes you can't undo them.
Right, and this is where the cultural context comes in. In lots of African cultures, balance is key.
Right.
Actions have ripple effects.
Yes.
Messing with that balance has big consequences.
It does.
Not just for you, but for everyone. So Tar deciding to sacrifice Amina, it's not just a personal failing.
No.
It's disrupting the natural order.
Exactly.
Violating the bond between parent and child.
It has to be addressed.
Yeah.
Not just for Tar, but for the whole community.
Okay, like a societal immune system trying to fix things.
Exactly.
So what happens next?
Well, the story builds to a very tense moment.
Oh, okay.
Tar is about to do the ritual.
Oh, no.
And then his wife bursts in.
His wife.
She knew something was wrong.
Wow.
She calls the villagers.
It's like a last-minute rescue.
It is.
A relief for everyone.
Yes.
It shows how important community is.
It does.
Looking out for each other, even challenging those in power.
You could say it's a victory?
A victory?
For feminine intuition and collective action?
I see.
Over greed and ambition.
So we're not alone in our struggles?
No.
We can support each other, hold each other accountable.
Exactly.
And fight for what's right.
Even when it seems impossible.
And the story doesn't let Tar off easy.
No, it doesn't.
He's brought to the king for judgment.
This is where we see how justice works.
Right.
How do you punish someone and still offer them a chance to redeem themselves? It's tricky.
It is.
And the story handles it really well.
So we're back, and I'm curious, did you think about that question?
Oh, yeah, it's a tough one.
It really is. It gets to the heart of this story.
Right.
What do we do when we face impossible choices?
Yeah, like this story is saying, don't be too hard on Tar.
Right.
We all have limits.
We do. What matters is how we recover after we mess up.
Exactly.
How we move on.
That's what's so interesting about how this story ends.
Okay.
On the surface, it's simple, right?
Yeah.
Tar loses his wealth, his freedom, almost loses his daughter.
Right.
Classic lesson learned. Be careful what you wish for.
Right.
But there's more to it than that.
Really? I think it's pretty straightforward.
Think about how Tar is presented.
Okay.
He's not pure evil.
I guess not.
He's a flawed guy.
Yeah.
Pushed to extremes by his situation.
True.
He gets tempted.
Right.
Makes a horrible choice. But in the end, he's full of regret.
So it's not just about punishment then. It's about him getting a second chance.
Exactly. The story doesn't end with everyone hating Tar.
Okay.
His family still visits him.
That's interesting.
It suggests they still care about him.
Yeah.
There's a message there, don't you think?
About forgiveness.
Yes, about healing and coming back from a bad place.
Yeah, it's like a different kind of justice.
It is. It's not just about making Tar suffer.
Right.
It's about restoring things for him and the community.
This ties into the cultural context too, right?
Of course.
Lots of African traditions have a cyclical view of life.
Right.
Life, death, rebirth.
Yeah.
Even when things are bad, there's potential for change. I see.
To learn and start fresh.
So, Tar going to prison.
Yes.
It's not just a punishment.
It's about giving him space for change, to look inward.
To get away from the material stuff.
Yeah, all the things he became obsessed with.
Right, forcing him to face who he really is.
It's powerful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Real freedom doesn't come from money or status.
Okay.
It comes from letting go.
Of what?
Letting go of the things holding you back.
I see.
Facing your dark side and finding a way to live honestly.
And the story ends with hope.
It does.
Tar messed up, but he can change.
Yes.
He can earn forgiveness.
Yeah.
From others and from himself.
That's what makes these folk tales so great.
Why?
They're not just preaching.
Okay.
They're about the complicated nature of being human.
Right.
The potential for good and bad inside all of us.
So what are the key takeaways from this story?
Well, first, the obvious one.
Right.
Be careful about getting rich quick.
Don't compromise your values.
Exactly, for material gain.
But the story also reminds us that real wealth comes from other things.
Right, like family, community, being honest.
And it shows us how important critical thinking is.
It does.
Don't just believe anyone who makes big promises.
Especially if they're not asking for anything in return.
Like Chifuzuka.
Yes. He's the classic manipulator.
Yeah.
Taking advantage of what people want.
Right. Be wary of those offers that seem too good to be true.
Exactly.
Look deeper, figure out people's real motives.
And remember, the story's about redemption.
Right.
About how powerful love and forgiveness are.
And about how important community is.
Yes. To support each other through tough times.
It reminds us that we all make mistakes.
We do.
But they don't define who we are.
Right. What matters is how we learn.
Yeah.
How we try to be better. How we show kindness.
To ourselves and to others.
Exactly. Those are important lessons.
They are. And I feel like we've only just touched on this story.
Oh, there's so much more to explore.
There is. But for now, I think it's time to wrap up.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
We hope this deep dive has made you curious.
Yeah.
It made you question things.
And given you some things to think about.
Remember, the choices we make, big or small, they shape our lives and the lives of those around us.
It's true.
So choose wisely, choose honestly.
And never underestimate the power of forgiveness.
Yes, and the strength of human connection.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions.
And keep diving deep.